From the Toyota Stadium in St. Louis, you're watching the USL as this evening St. Louis FC play host to Las Vegas Lights. This evening St. Louis FC match is brought to you by the Cheshire, St. Louis, and LHM. For bookings and more information, visit CheshireSTL.com. Chris Whittingham alongside the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey for commentary of this one and what we are calling a playoff six-pointer. These are two teams that are on the push to try and make the playoffs. They have some gains in hand, but they have to turn it into points this evening, and we will start with the visitors, Las Vegas Lights. They have a discipline issue, Gary. They lead the league in yellow cards. One player, Joel Wiki, one of their defenders, has 10 on the season. They ship too many goals. They give away too many fouls, but at times they play the most entertaining games in the league.
Well, there's a lot of negatives you mentioned amongst that lot. Certainly conceding goals being one of them. 42 goals conceded. That's the sixth most in the USL. Compare that to 25 against St. Louis. 42 is a lot more. As you mentioned, yellow cards, really bad. Getting too many players sent off because then you lose your key players at the wrong time of the season. So only 3 clean sheets as well. Mind you, 2 of them in the last 6. Have a look here. Leading on, I mean, that's a shocker. That really is. It's unnecessary. Look, following through, whack in the head. That's going to get you a red card every single time. Carlos Alvarez there. So, yeah, these are things you can fix, and they need to fix them quickly.
And Carlos Alvarez was the captain on the day and took that red card. So we now get to our Toyota player to watch. Austin Ledbetter will play at right wing back this evening. A week ago against Seattle Sounders 2, getting his first goal for St. Louis.
Nice goal, nice bend, good setup here, edge of the box. Pixie spot, doesn't smash a pixie spot, wide of the keeper. Lovely finish, and I guess he'll be wanting to do that again this evening.
Yeah, with Aiton Stanley departing off to college, some help needed at fullback with some injuries as well to Jonathan Barton. Getting it in the way of Austin Ledbetter, who played down that right-hand side. Both these teams playing 3 at the back this evening. We'll get to our starting lineups coming up next. But have a look here. This is Austin Ledbetter's family. He is a local boy, and his family tailgating before this one. They've got the big cardboard cutouts of his face. They'll be excitedly cheering him on in the stands at the Toyota Stadium this evening. But coming up next, we'll bring you your starting lineups of first half kickoff. It is a massive game. St. Louis and Las Vegas, both on the outside of the playoffs looking in, but can win their games in hand and continue on their way to chasing Swope Park Rangers and Portland Timbers 2. St. Louis and Las Vegas is next.
There's really only one place where the carpets are always red and the stars are everywhere you look. There's no place like Hollywood. Hollywood Casino St. Louis.
When you need quality electrical work for your home or business, look to the electricalconnection.org. Created as a partnership between IBEW Local 1 electricians and the St. Louis chapter of the National Electrical Contractors Association, the Electrical Connection has been setting the standard for electrical excellence in St. Louis for over 100 years. You can depend on our highly skilled and trained workforce, your #1 source for quality electrical and communication contractors, electricalconnection.org.
Here come the last of our 2018s.
Toyota's national clearance event is the best part of summer.
And with super low APR financing and great lease deals, it won't last long.
Oh, I'm so excited.
You are not alone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah! Yes!
But my job.
Get $2,500 customer cash on a new 2018 RAV4. Or get 0% APR for 48 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a new RAV4.
Save on the last of the 2018s. Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Will launch again. The header comes in, and it's Sam Faint, the captain, with the winner with just a minute left to play. Sends some service and taken off the chest by Greg, who strikes and scores. An equalizing goal.
Calistri with the spin and finds a way to slot it past Fabian Serta. What a return game for Joey Calistri.
And welcome back to live coverage of St. Louis FC playing host this evening to Las Vegas Lights. Chris Whittingham alongside the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey as we get to our Schlafly starting lineups. Both teams going for a back 3 this evening, starting first with Las Vegas.
Yeah, interesting. 3, and then is it a 4-3? Is it a 5-1? I guess it morphs as the game moves along. But Samuel Ochoa up front, Raul Mendiola, who scored the goal when these two teams met, the winning goal, playing on the left-hand side at this stage, and Omar Salgado on the right. Kobayashi with lots of experience, and Rafael Garcia more in the middle, and expect to see Christian Torres and Marco Jaime on the flanks trying to attack wide.
Meanwhile, for St. Louis, again, a similar shape to what they've been deploying the last 2 matches. Again, with a back 3, Reynolds, Fink, and Kavita at the back. Kyle Gregg continues to score the goals as well. He is now up to 8 on the campaign.
Yeah, top goal scorer there for St. Louis, and Albert Dikwa, the Cameroonian, alongside him. Interesting to see how the midfield develops between these two teams, because slightly more in the middle there for St. Louis with Kadeem Dakers, Lewis Hilton and Wall Fall, and then out wide Austin Ledbetter and Kyle Culbertson putting the crosses in. So looking forward to this. Hope it's a great game tonight.
As we take a look at how these teams have been faring over the last few matches, St. Louis with a couple of victories in a row. These two teams actually met earlier on in the season, finished 1-0 to Las Vegas Knights at the Cashman Stadium. But Las Vegas on a decent run of form themselves. They've won 2 of their last 3.
Yeah, they certainly have, but they've conceded far too many goals over the course of the season. 42, 6th most in the USL. That is something they need to fix, and soon. As
the referee will just make sure everything is sorted in terms of these two teams being ready to play, as we are underway from the Toyota Stadium. Both of these teams mounting a playoff chase. St. Louis currently 4 points off the final playoff places, wearing their home greens with the blue shorts and socks this evening. Las Vegas going from left to right in their white chain strip with the blue trim, as the shot comes in from a long way out from Omar Salgado, and Jake Fenlison will have his first touch of the ball.
Yeah, Salgado just getting his eye on target. The ball was straight, direct, gave the goalkeeper something to do, and showed his intention, shoot on sight.
And that is very much something that has become typical of the play of Las Vegas Lights this season. They are very direct. They like to play the ball forward. They like to press to win the ball back. And that has been a general theme of opposing managers describing their play. This week in our call, Isidro Sanchez, their manager, was telling us that it's born out of the impatience of technical director Chelis. Doesn't wants to have the ball, and when he doesn't have it, wants it back quickly. And so they press up the field, they play direct, and they always want to be having the ball. Yeah,
that's a style of soccer that can work. It can work very well. It can be tiring when you favor pressing, but if you put pressure in the right places, it can produce results.
Here's Rafael Garcia making his first start after the acquisition in midweek. The former LA Galaxy midfielder won 2 MLS Cups with LA, 45 MLS appearances over 5 years. So moving to another side to get some playing time.
Just picking up on what you said about the direct style of Vegas, Anthony Pulis quoted as saying, Vegas play direct and physical. What we must try and do is stick to our game plan. So sort of suggesting that St. Louis play more on the deck. They want to play more football. 2 contrasting styles, and we'll sort of see how it plays out. There is Anthony Pulis, as we mentioned him.
Son of Tony Pulis, who is managing again in the championship with Middlesbrough. As you have a look at the setups for both of these sides, it does look very much like 3-4-3 this evening for both teams, as Jake Fenlison will send long towards Kyle Gregg. Taken out here by Lewis Hilton, the Englishman, for Kyle Culbertson. Going to play it down the line into the path of Kadeem Dakers, but does give away to Joel Wiki, who makes up part of that back 3, and sending long is Ricardo Ferrinho. As the ball stood in the path there of Dakers, but cleared away there by Marco Jaime, who will play right wing back this evening for Las Vegas.
Yeah, nice bright start from both sides. Ball being fizzed around and tackles flying in, and positive attitude from both teams.
As you have a look at Isidro Sanchez, son of Chelis, the longtime manager in Liga MX, now in charge of Las Vegas Lights. As will be Lewis Hilton to take this Electro Savings corner. And is sent towards that back post, arriving in there for the header. It's still available in the air, falls for Kavita, and it's in! The defender turning it off the corner. Multiple opportunities, and in the end, it's Fanuel Kavita with his first of the campaign, giving St. Louis the lead.
What a scramble from that corner. The ball bobbling everywhere, chance after chance. I thought the first chance was a good one. Header didn't go in and it was blocked by the goalkeeper, but well done, St. Louis. Just kept on going, kept on having a stab at that ball, and Kavita eventually gets the crucial touch.
So you have a look here, Lewis Hilton, and the header was in there from wall fall, but just intervening there was Garduño, and it eventually came to Kavita, came off of multiple green shirts on the way through. And then ends up in the back of the net.
Yeah, it was a real scramble, wasn't it? I thought the first chance there was for wall four was a very good chance. I thought that was going to go in. And when that bounced out, the keeper then makes a save. But eventually, it works out for St. Louis. What a good early start for the home side.
And the replay of that goal is delivered to you by Domino's and Fanuel Kavita. Anthony Poulos will be pleased with the quality early start. Got off to a good start at home in their 2-0 victory against Seattle Sounders 2 last time out, with Kyle Gregg scoring in the first 5 minutes as well. And now Las Vegas trying to summon the quick response. Here's Raul Mendiola. It took it on the volley. And it took a deflection on the way through it, so it will be a Las Vegas corner.
That's a good opportunity from Mendiola there. Cuts in beautifully, opens up the gap. As you say, takes a deflection. If not, perhaps that would have been on target.
Two white shirts over, both Daigo Kobayashi and Omar Salgado over to take this corner. And Salgado will leave it for Kobayashi. Unmarked as Mendiola tried to strike first time, but the whistle had gone first. A little bit of foul play in the penalty area off the corner.
Now here's an interesting stat that's going to worry Las Vegas Lights fans, but when they've been behind and they have only won 1 of 10 games, they've lost 8 and drawn 1. So not a good sign for Las Vegas Lights when they fall behind.
As you saw on your screen, St. Louis have done very well when scoring first. 6-1-2 as Salgado trying to press on. Here's Kobayashi. They're losing out in the center of the park, and St. Louis will now try and play out through the goalkeeper, Fenlison. Albert Tiquat trying to head it on its way, but goes out of play for a Las Vegas throw-in. These two teams did meet earlier on in the campaign. Las Vegas getting the victory at Cashman through Raul Mendiola. Here you saw Chelis, the technical director, on the sideline. Isidro Sanchez, his son, part of that coaching staff. Chelis doing a bit of both. And his influence through the squad is pretty strong. The number of Mexicans in the team. Chelis, the Mexican and former manager in Mexico, as Hilton goes down under the challenge. There's a side that was down to 9 men against Seattle Sounders 2 a couple of weekends ago, and now an incident here straight away with Kobayashi.
Yeah, hard to see what happened there, whether that was the ball that hit him or an elbow or a boot. He's getting the yellow card, Kobayashi, so the referee feels it's a serious matter. Let's have a look at it again and see what we can make out. I think it was a ball that hit him. I didn't see it. I didn't see that as a boot. So yeah, maybe a harsh yellow.
So straight away a booking for the side in USL with the most yellow cards. Kobayashi not among the culprits, despite being a regular in the team. He has just picked up his second. Former J-League player, long time in MLS with Vancouver and New England. Certainly some MLS experience in this Las Vegas side as the ball is sent long for Kyle Culbertson to chase. And in the end, conceding a corner is Las Vegas and Rodrigo Inigo.
They're difficult for the defender. He wanted to see it out for a goal kick, but in the end he felt there was just a chance the ball might be kept in play, so he played the safe option. Now they need to defend better this time, Las Vegas.
Another Electro Savings corner. And Lewis Hilton towards that near post this time. Wallfall again getting something on it, but Las Vegas dealing with it, but only as far as Kyle Culbertson. Hilton with the first time ball. Just lovely interplay here from St. Louis, but Culbertson turning. For every goal scored by St. Louis FC off a corner kick, Electro Savings will be donating $100 to a St. Louis charity, so they will have off of the last corner.
One up already. Good for charity. Mind you, bad for Las Vegas defending if wants to be really critical.
As Culbertson tries to hit the cross, took a deflection on the way through. But again, St. Louis retained possession through Dakers. Still get the other side of that. This fall for Culbertson. Kadeem Dakers. And he goes down into the way to the challenge from Inigo, and it will be a free kick in a fairly dangerous area. And the Mexican giving away a free kick, one might say needlessly.
Yes, very much so, because I thought, where's Dakers going? Is he going to get the ball? Is he going to get the cross? Just stay with him. Let's have a look again. He plays it. I think, to be fair, the big central defender Inigo there was caught for pace, and he just thought, you know, I can't take a risk. I'll take the player out instead.
But again, set-piece defending will be put to the test here.
It does tie in with what you said about them being bad at giving away yellow cards and discipline, Las Vegas.
And also giving away goals. Now conceded 43 in this their 22nd match, so almost about 2 a game, as Hilton will send in the corner. Actually goes to strike, and in the end, Ferrinho has to punch.
Good save from the goalkeeper. Good free kick. Clever one. Played over to the near post, but goalkeeper was ready for it. Always got to read your near post there. Keeper doing well.
Thought it almost would have been a hybrid corner, given the position did not look like shooting range, but Hilton going for it and nearly catching the keeper out. This header comes in from Christian Torres, one of 7 Mexican natives in this team. This will be a ball played into the path of Torres. Those wingbacks do love to fly forward. A nice little trick attempted there, and the foul is given away there by St. Louis. It's Ledbetter on that far side. And our player to watch this evening has given a free kick to Las Vegas in a dangerous area.
Referee looking very, very stern. Greg Dobka. Don't know what the arguing's all about from Ledbetter. Here we see it again. Goalkeeper, right place, right thing to do. If you can't hold on to it, get rid of it. Decent save from Ferrinho.
So it will be a free kick opportunity here for Las Vegas, and again, Kobayashi and Salgado over it. For this kind of area, a left-footed or a right-footed delivery?
As a goalkeeper, I hate the right-footed one because it bends in towards you and it can cause you all sorts of problems. I'd much rather have the one bending away, in which case Kobayashi feels the same way. Then he'll take it and say, goalkeeper, deal with this one. Bending in towards the keeper. You never know if someone's going to get a touch or not.
The line set up at around the penalty spot as Las Vegas will whip this one. It is the left of Salgado. Some loft on it, but the header away from Culbertson. Torres will again deliver towards the area. A little bit of a foul, a couple of challenges flying in. And again from Kobayashi, this time it's a free kick against Albert Dikwa for getting a bit of Kobayashi there. So physical play here, both in and out of the penalty area. And in the end, a free kick for Las Vegas.
That's one thing you know about Las Vegas. They are going to get stuck in. They are going to be physical. Not sure what happened here. The ball's sort of bobbling around. Is that a dangerous kick? Very high kick there from the big number 4, Inigo. But not given. This free kick is. This is more central. And maybe Kobayashi will have a go this time.
So it would look to be a strong challenge from Sam Fink in the area. So again, another opportunity for service. St. Louis establishing their offside trap on the edge of the penalty area. They have their early goal, and now look to defend it as again Salgado. And Kyle Gregg can just let it run all the way through, and he does for a St. Louis goal kick.
Now that's a frustrating free kick if you're a striker or a coach, because you've missed everybody. You know, you've got 4 or 5 or 6 players to aim for. You've got to hit one of them. And just to go straight out for a goal kick is a waste of a perfect opportunity. So frustrating if you've run all the way up as a Las Vegas center back, and now you've got to get all the way back and defend.
Just want to give yourself an opportunity as Fall will flick on with the header. Well taken down there by Albert Dikwa. Culbertson. Down the line for Kadeem Dakers, and Wiki takes care of that and gives away the throw. Joe Wiki, who we mentioned in the open, giving away 10 yellow cards, made 199 Liga MX appearances for Monarcas Morelia and Cruz Azul. Here is Salgado. Taken out of the air by Hilton. Ochoa. And Kobayashi gives away. Las Vegas struggling to hang on a possession as the ball is lofted over the top for Dakers. Cutting onto his right, will strike, and it's in! What an incredible strike from Kadeem Dakers! Cutting it off that left and doubling St. Louis's lead. St. Louis 2, Las Vegas 0.
That's a golazo, absolutely brilliant. As you say, cuts in on that right foot, but bends it into the top corner. Nothing Ferrinho can do about it. A wonderful, wonderful goal. That's got to go into those final for goal of the season. Absolutely brilliant. Wonderful ball to him in the first place. Have a look here. Cuts in on that right foot, bends it. Wow, I mean, keeper gets barely a touch to it, but right towards that top corner. Brilliant from Dakers.
Flawless placement on the postage stamp in that top right corner. And St. Louis, again, off to a brilliant start. Similar scenario again against Seattle Sounders 2. We're up in the first 5 minutes, added to it later in the first half. The delivery of that goal is from Domino's and Kadeem Dakers, who puts in his first goal of the campaign.
What a goal to be your first goal. In fact, if it's the only goal he scores all season, he'll probably still be happy. Stunning, stunning, and 2-0 up after 15 minutes is the perfect start for Anthony Pulis.
And St. Louis side that have 1-2 on the bounce, got a late winner against Reno and took care of business at home against Seattle Sounders 2. This was meant to be the time that they made their playoff push and have gotten off to a solid start here at the Toyota. As Sam Fink will put the ball back in play. Greg taking down the header. And you'd also have to say, Gary, that the scoreline is also a reflection of the balance of play.
Yeah, they look much sharper, St. Louis. They certainly have. Having said that, Las Vegas have had a few set pieces around the box. They could have produced a bit more. A little bit of aggro now. They're getting upset, Las Vegas, and getting into each other's faces there. But I mean, if you're 2-0 down in 16 minutes, you are going to be upset. And you mentioned the point about playoff hopes. Anthony Pulis looking a lot happier. But if Las Vegas lose this one, is it slipping away for them?
You'd have to say that they're 7 points off right now with 2 games in hand. And they're going to have to start winning matches in bunches soon. On current trajectory, it's going to take about 49 points to get into the playoffs. St. Louis currently on 29, so they're going to need 20 from 13 matches left, including tonight. Las Vegas currently on 26. Will need about 23 from 13 matches left, including tonight. So in terms of on a per-game basis, they're going to need to put more points in the bank. St. Louis, though, right on that trajectory and going up just as Swopark Rangers are coming down. They're without a win in 6, currently sitting in 8th. Certainly differing runs to form at the moment as the ball might bounce kindly in the air for Ochoa. Fenlison coming out, caught a bit of Ochoa, and it is a Las Vegas penalty. Jake Fenlison can barely believe it, but he caught a bit too much of Sammy Ochoa for the liking of Greg Dopka, and he points to the spot.
I'd like to see that again. The keeper gets the ball, but does he get the player first? He's saying, no, I didn't. I got the ball. Referee says, no, you got the player first. Here we go. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think the referee's correct. I think the ball has gone past, and then the keeper's hit him. Wow, and here we are. Let's have a look. Oh, does he make the save, though? Does Ochoa try and chip him, and it hits his body? Can we see it again? I still haven't made up my mind.
My read of it is that he caught almost entirely Ochoa, but
does he make the save and then Ochoa hits him, or he hits Ochoa? If you make the save and then the player hits you, you've made the save.
Now, Jake Finlayson did make a penalty save a week ago, the first of his career. As we will now have the benefit of something the referee does not, and that is super slow-mo.
And we still can't decide.
We'll have a look after either the conversion or failure to convert of Salgado, and it will be Salgado from the spot. 1 goal in the season against Finlayson, who has formed from penalties, and it's well taken there by Omar Salgado, and Las Vegas Lights are back into the game, getting the decision and converting. It's 2-1.
That's an excellent penalty. Power, position, pace, everything it needed, and it's got them back into the game. Jake Finlayson, though, fuming. He believes it wasn't a penalty. He believes he's been done in by the referee, and we've seen 3 replays, and we still can't decide.
So it is Las Vegas getting back from the spot. And I believe we might have a change so early. And it will be Daigo Kobayashi, who did look to have taken the worst end of a challenge earlier. So you have to imagine this for injury when you consider it is in the 20th minute. Kobayashi off, going to be Eric Avila on for Las Vegas. So already a change. The 30-year-old, another player with MLS experience, 174 appearances in Major League Soccer. And now we'll come into the center of the park, and game on here in St. Louis. Had 3 goals in the opening 20 minutes.
Yeah, an exciting start to the game, isn't it, with those 3 goals and controversy, and one of them a Golasso penalty, and hopefully plenty more to come.
Christian Torres trying to play in the run of Mendiola. Almost lost out, but Rafael Garcia will maintain. Torres again. This time does deliver towards the area, away by Fanuel Cavita, the scorer of the first goal. And Fault will just get it up the pitch for Kyle Gregg to chase. And he's got some space towards the penalty area, waiting for his options. On the turn, Kyle Gregg tries to play it for Dakers, but cut out there. Will still fall for Kyle Gregg. Didn't quite have the pace to convert that counterattack on his own. Now Reynolds for Culbertson, but a sliding challenge in there from Marco Jaime.
I guess now, sorry, I guess it's all about game management now if you're St. Louis, just to calm down, get control of the game, looking so good early on. And we got free kick and put that pressure back onto Las Vegas.
And there's a 1-2 there with Culbertson and Dakers that eventually results in the free kick. Fans having a go at the referee now. You imagine after that penalty decision, he will not have the home supporters behind him.
No, he won't, and he's lucky there's not replays going on big screens, because nobody really knows whether he got it right or wrong. In terms of the crowd, they just got to go with what's happened. But certainly the players were upset about it, St. Louis, and Jake Finlayson was fuming with the referee, so he feels hard done by.
As Hilton will send it long, fall the height in the area. It might have fallen for Fink, but did not quite have enough pace behind it, as the whistle had gone. And it will be a free kick for Las Vegas after some contact in the area.
Let's have a look at it again. Oh, here's the, you see, it hits his face. For me, that's a save. Striker gets there, shoots, hits the goalkeeper, comes off the goalkeeper's face or head. That's not a penalty. Would you agree, disagree?
I would need to know the interpretation of the rule. So if you make a save, you can then clear out the player after you've made that save. As now some more discipline coming here, as I believe it's Wiki who will go into the book after his challenge on Albert Dikwa. That is his 11th on the season. And the Mexican again giving away a free kick and an opportunity for St. Louis.
So, you know, ask the question
yeah,
about...
So the goalkeeper, does he have the right to clear out a player after he's made a save? Because he clearly, he fouls him after making that save.
But you come out as a keeper, you throw your body out there, the ball hits you, your body, and clears. can't avoid the contact. As long as you've made the save first, if there's contact, then there's contact. If you don't get the ball and then there's contact, clearly it's a penalty. So I do think in that situation, the keeper's made a valid save. But again, it's difficult. We've seen it 4 times now, and eventually I've come to my conclusion. The referee sees it once, he's got to call it as he sees it, and you can't criticize him. It's very difficult to decide what happened there.
And now, as upon review, it'll be Rodrigo Inigo who will have the yellow card rather than Wiki. And it'll be Lewis Hilton to strike on the free kick. It hits the post and somehow stays out. What a strike from Lewis Hilton.
Wonderful strike. Just wondering if Farinho got a touch on that, the faintest of touches to get it onto the post. But as the goalkeeper looked over his shoulder, it rolled tantalizingly across the goal. Nobody there to finish it off. And Las Vegas get away with that one.
And sets up another Electro Savings corner after the clearance. Now Culbertson and Hilton over this one. As the assistant will just hold off here on the corner. And it'll be Culbertson who will send in, and the goalkeeper, Farinho, out to punch, striking from a long way out as Dakers didn't quite find the way through. And now Las Vegas carry on here through Salgado, the scorer of the penalty. Culbertson gonna send Dikwa in over the top first time. It's a good ball for the Cameroonian. Tries to send the low cross through towards Kyle Gregg, but eventually cleared by Christian Torres.
Wow, if we had some excitement with these goals in the post, here it is again. I think the keeper might have got the faintest of touches. Oh, it's hard to see, but it goes right across the goal. Let's have a look. Is this going to tell us? Farinho, yes, go on the keeper. What a good save. Lewis Hilton is celebrating. He thinks it's going in.
You know immediately when it comes off your boot that it was a good one. He thought he had beaten Farinho, as Dakers did earlier, but the keeper made 7 saves a week ago in preserving their 1-0 win over Rio Grande Valley. Again, equal to it.
Yep, 3 goals so far. One of them a controversial penalty, one of them a golazo, a tip onto the post, and the ball runs across the box. And what, we're 25 minutes in. This is great entertainment.
Had all the incidents we need for a 90-minute match. Still have 65 minutes left to play. Ochoa and Mendiola with a nice header. Gonna try and return the favor. Reynolds putting Culbertson under a bit of pressure, but he handled it. Garcia, despite a lack of height, trying to win in the air. Here's Salgado. St. Louis at home have actually played among the least incident-filled matches in the league. They've played 10 times at home coming into tonight, scored 10, conceded 7.
Wow. Not the most exciting, but it shows you they're hard to beat and they don't give much up. So it's a lot for Las Vegas to do there. They've got the penalty, may be lucky. Don't want to be critical too much because it was hard to call, but they might have had a little bit of luck go their way. The thing is, they need more than that to beat this St. Louis side. Got to play some good football, get more efforts on target, work Jake Finlayson more than they have done so far.
Las Vegas with probably their most patient build-up of the evening. Inigo. Garduño. Send a route one over the top. Mendiola using his body positioning well to take that one down. The header is towards Mendiola again from Ochoa. This time Garcia, but straight to the path of Wall Fall. Garcia with a nice sliding challenge in, but given away there in the center of the park by the substitute Avila. Dakers trying to poke it in towards Dikwa, but well handled there by Inigo. Avila shoved off it there by Dakers, well won. Anthony Poulis gesturing for a free kick, but not doing. As Culbertson will now send it for Dikwa to chase, well handled there by Wiki. Takers. Greg going down there under the weight of the challenge. There wasn't much in that, but enough for the referee to whistle for a foul against Marco Jaime.
That's a silly foul to give away there. They're not going anywhere, St. Louis. They're just knocking the ball around, trying to get something. You give away, was it a tug, a push? I'm not quite sure what it was. But now it's a set piece. You've just seen Lewis Hilton hit the post with a set piece. Do you really need this sort of pressure? And you mentioned it early on about their disciplinary record, Las Vegas. Free kicks, yellow cards, they're giving away too many chances to the opposition to create pressure.
And particularly as good as the delivery has been tonight from Lewis Hilton. You'd imagine this is not quite striking range as the last one was, but still sent a good ball into the penalty area. And it will be Hilton who sends it low and with pace, but straight into the defender. Culbertson back in, Fall going down. Referee not interested, and one back by Garcia. Avila. And now Jaime can charge into space. Send it low into the path of Salgado, but cut out well there by Culbertson. Fans approve. See the little bit of gamesmanship there from Anthony Poulos.
Yeah, Jaime looking at him with a funny look, like, seriously? You're not going to even pass me the ball?
Wouldn't expect anything less with from a manager with that last name. Dequa. And Greg unable to settle, and now Wiki will play back for the goalkeeper. Ferrinho, who has taken some criticism at times this year for his unorthodox style.
Yeah, very, very different sort of goalkeeper. Extravagant. But I enjoy watching him. You never know what you're going to get. And certainly he's made some wonderful saves. That one tipped onto the post. Had no chance with a golazo in the top corner.
Would you have said no chance? He might have been a little bit too far off his line.
The goalkeeper was always going to be a few yards off his line because he's got to come out as like a sweeper as well. So, you know, when a goal goes in near the top corner, it's hard to be critical. Certainly, he's made some wonderful saves. What did you say, last game, 7 saves? And that's impressive.
As Garduño will send it in, and that time straightforward work for Jake Fenlison. While Fall, the German, a few more tugs at the shirt, and a free kick. St. Louis saying goodbye to Pierre da Silva, one of 3 loanees from Orlando City. Really trying to patch things together with this roster that at times has been threadbare. Again, only 5 substitutes available to Anthony Poulos this evening, as Ricardo Ferrinho trying to play it back out, but puts it straight out of play. And now we will have a hydration break.
Well, some good banter there amongst the crowd. Nice to see. But you mentioned there about a lack of substitutes. It cannot be easy for managers when you lose players, when you're short of players, when there's injuries, and you're having to mix and match. But it's also a good testing ground for you know, the likes of Anthony Poulos. Is what do you do when you're short of players? How do you turn a fullback into a wingback? How do you drop someone from defensive midfield into a centre back position? You know, needs must, and you've got to come up with ideas and solutions. And we've often seen players who are forced to play in a different position suddenly take to that position. So it's really good credit to the managers that they have to shift the players around, and also the styles. Anthony Poulos playing 4-4-2 for most of the season now. Now it's 3-4-3.
He entered the season wanting to play 3 at the back, and was forced by virtue of his personnel to play a back 4. Now let's show you the goals as they flew in. First came in off a corner. Lewis Hilton towards that back post. Wall had the best opportunity, but quality work there from Garduño, but eventually turned in by Cavita.
Yeah, Wall with a great chance early on, but Cavita finishes it off after that big scramble. And this is the golazo from Kadim Dakers. Look at that. Oh, keeper does get a touch, but what a strike.
And then here would be the penalty. Some controversy about Ochoa putting the ball into Fenlison's chest before he took him out. After your 5 looks at it, is it a penalty?
No, not for me at all. No, the player gets there first, the keeper makes the save, and then they collide.
Well, the referee gave a penalty, and Salgado turned in.
Yeah, and I can't blame the referee because we weren't sure straight away, and the ref can only give what he sees, and fair enough, sometimes you get the rub of the green, sometimes you don't. But I could see the way Jake Finlayson reacted, that he felt it wasn't. And he wasn't just pleading for the penalty not to be given. He was genuinely really annoyed that it had been given. So that sometimes tells you whether it should have been a penalty or not. Hey, but credit Las Vegas for getting the ball in the box and trying to create chances. That's what you got to do more of if you're Las Vegas. You've got to put that defense of St. Louis under pressure. They haven't done it enough so far in this match.
As we're now back underway after the hydration break, a hot and humid evening here in the St. Louis area. Here's Kadeem Dakers, scorer of that brilliant goal earlier. Working there against Jaime, tries to get the cross off, comes off of Wiki. And out for an Electro Savings corner.
Another corner for St. Louis. Good pressure. And I always feel that from set pieces, you know, sometimes you just get a flick on at the near post, cause problems. You can get a, you know, ball that's cleared only to the edge of the box. It's good pressure to have. If you're St. Louis, of course.
A fourth corner of the match. Presented by Electro Savings, as Lewis Hilton does have the short option with Culbertson. He's delivered some quality service into the penalty area and does so again. Awkwardly punched away by Ferrinho. It does the job. Interception, though, comes from Dakers, but unable to maintain possession. This match is presented by Toyota. Be sure to visit one of the 7 local St. Louis area Toyota dealers.
That was a strange punch from Ferrinho. I think there were so many bodies in front of him, he saw extremely late, in which case it's a good punch to the edge of the box, and at least it clears the danger. Referee pushing the Vegas players back to where the throw-in should be.
See Chalis having a conversation with the 4th official, the manager for Las Vegas Lights. Avila. Better play for a Las Vegas throw-in. St. Louis, we mentioned the injuries without Jonathan Barton and Austin Martz, who have been regulars in the team. Martz has been out for a couple of months. St. Louis, though, have gotten on without him. And still in striking distance to get towards those playoff places, chasing Swope Park Rangers and Portland Timbers 2 at the moment. A win tonight would see them, depending on results elsewhere, as little as 1 point off of those playoff places. Swope and Portland actually playing each other this evening. We'll bring you live scores of that one as they come, as the header from Wiki settles to Jake Finlayson. At the moment, Swope trailed by a 1-0 to Portland Timbers 2. Jeremy Abobasi with the goal there. So we'll bring you updates on that one, as it certainly does have an impact on both of these teams trying to chase that final playoff place. Ochoa, and a strong header comes in from Fink, but referee judges Fink to have gone through Raul Mendiola.
There's a difference in size, isn't there, between the two of them? Little Raul Mendiola is tiny compared to big Sam Fink, and got smacked in the back of the head. That's the big centre back saying, yeah, just, you know, if you come near me, this is what's going to happen to you. But Mendiola's a good little player, scored the winner when these two teams met, so no doubt he'll be hoping to do the same again tonight.
Fink making his 72nd appearance for St. Louis across 2 stints. Did move to OKC Energy. As it's lofted in by Garcia, it's a decent one. The strike comes in first time. The whistle had gone, though, for offside. It was the center back, Inigo, who took it out of the air. Finlayson palmed it onto the bar, but it wouldn't have counted on account of the offside flag.
It's a good save from the goalkeeper. Brilliant save from Finlayson. Pity, he'll be hoping it did count. But like, when I make a good save and you blow it off for offside, well done the goalkeeper, and better from Las Vegas.
Here's Salgado trying to work around multiple defenders. Peels back towards the penalty spot. Ochoa threatening, but dealt with there by Hilton. And away by Kavita. Flicked on for Greg. But Inigo, who was in on that last opportunity, gives away the throw. Quick drink there from Wallfall. As certainly the conditions playing a role. Let's take a look at the save.
Good tip. Lovely tip onto the crossbar there from Jake Finlayson. Oh, well, he'll just keep that in his scrapbook, that little bit of video there. He won't tell anybody it was blown up for offside.
Looks good on a highlight film, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As Finlayson will have to come off his line to boot it into the stand. Las Vegas just packing on a little bit more pressure here after getting that penalty decision.
That was a crucial moment in the game because St. Louis looked like they're totally dominating, 2-0 up, and this has got Las Vegas back in their penalty, and it's made it a much more exciting game for the neutral.
Center backs coming forward, and it will be a corner as Fall wasn't able to keep it in play before putting it out of play. So will be an opportunity again on a set piece. Avila and Salgado. Kobayashi had been on a lot of these deliveries, but he is off after just 20 minutes. It would look like an injury. Avila and Salgado just discussing their options. Salgado, the native of El Paso. And it's decent service. We'll come here to Rafael Garcia on the area, but no room to strike, and now counter-attacking opportunity on for St. Louis. Dikwa and Dakers with only one man in front of them. Here is Dakers. Try to get around the defender, but it's a fantastic sliding challenge in to just slow down, and now might there be an opportunity the other way here for Mendiola. Takes it out of the air, but headed away there by Culbertson. End-to-end stuff here at the Toyota Stadium. Opportunity still on for Vegas and Ochoa. And now Jaime towards Salgado.
Wow, great entertainment there, wasn't there? Chances at one end, and then they counter-attack, and chances the other way, and another one coming
And a backwards header gives Greg the opportunity. Here's Greg! And Greg has 3 and 3 and 9 on the season. And it's given St. Louis their 2-goal lead back. It's St. Louis 3, Las Vegas 1.
Good finish from Kyle Gregg there. Errors at the back from Las Vegas. Ball went from one end of the pitch to the other and back. They got caught napping, and Kyle Gregg punishes them with a good finish. And now they're back with that 2-goal margin again. Let's have a look at what happens here. Header back to poor header. Kyle Gregg jumps on the opportunity there. Inigo can't get up, and the keeper comes perhaps and sells himself. Could Farinho have just stayed and waited to make the save? Kyle Gregg doesn't care. He sticks it in the back of the net.
And the replay of that goal delivered to you by Domino's and by Kyle Gregg. St. Louis came into the night with 10 goals in 10 home matches, and they have 3 before halftime. A remarkable evening, and that counterattack looked like it could have been on the chance before through Dikwa, but Gregg converting that time and pouncing on the error by that back three. And now an opportunity again on, and Gregg furious at Greg Dobka, and this time Wiki does go into the book for his 11th yellow of the campaign. And St. Louis have Las Vegas on the ropes.
They do now. What is that? 3 yellow cards. They're getting frustrated. Las Vegas, this is a very good St. Louis team, the way they're playing tonight. And they're creating opportunities. They're pressing Las Vegas. And the only way they can respond is to get up tight and lash out a little bit. Let's have a look here from behind. Yeah, you don't want to be doing that right in front of the referee as well.
The St. Louligans in full voice, getting behind their team that have given them entertainment that at times has been scarce at the Toyota Stadium. It's been better of late, a 2-0 at home last time out, a 2-2 the game before that. The goals starting to fly in here at Toyota Stadium as St. Louis, with their 3 goals, have actually equaled their best scoring mark of the season. Still got a little less than 50 minutes to play, Gary. It could be 5 or 6 tonight for St. Louis.
It's a great game. Absolutely wonderful. Kyle Gregg took it so well, but it's also the pace of St. Louis that worries Las Vegas. They've got such quick players in Dikwa and Dakers on the counter-attack. it's causing Las Vegas lots of problems as well.
Greg, who at times has been in and out of the team, despite leading the squad in goals and heading towards a double-digit goal season. Being very clinical with that opportunity. Inigo. Jaime. And Wiki, who scored the winning goal last time out against Rio Grande Valley. Given away there by Ochoa. And now Hilton. Might there be one last opportunity on here as Dakers gives away Garcia. And Torres lofted in, but a bit too much power on the cross, and Culbertson will just allow Fenlison to settle.
Yeah, just slowing the game now. St. Louis, they're 2 goals ahead, and they just want to see it through to halftime in the same position. Great position to be in when you're at home, and they have played really well in this first half. The coach, Anthony Pulis, has got to be extremely happy, but of course, it's only job half done at halftime.
And how different might this game look if not for that penalty decision? It could be a rout on at the moment, but Las Vegas will still feel like they have an opportunity to get back into the game. Certainly need to play much better, as they have been told we'll have a minimum of 3 minutes to be added on. As Greg comes walking away from that a little awkwardly. Torres. And Rafael Garcia making his debut tonight for Las Vegas. Signed in the week. Marco Jaime to try and send the cross in. Too high for Ochoa. But Mendiola will play it out the other side. Another former LA Galaxy player whipped the cross in. That looked dangerous, but no white shirts arriving on that back post. And again, Fenlison take as much time as he can to pick the ball up.
That was a little bit better from Las Vegas. Get a ball in there, whip it in. Okay, they didn't find any target men, but that's what you want to be doing. You're not going to score many goals if you don't get that ball in the St. Louis box. So a little bit more positive, something for the coaches to talk to at halftime to the players of Las Vegas Lights.
As the whistle goes against Culbertson there. Be a free kick for Las Vegas. And with a couple of minutes before halftime, just an opportunity to send numbers forward. Lots of numbers forward. It looks almost as if it's the 93rd minute. And they need this goal. Garcia will play relatively short, though. Change the point of attack. And Torres will loft it in towards Wiki, who does get a decent header on it. Cleared there by Fink. Here's Avila. Taken out of the air by Fall. Wiki. And the cross is sent in there by Jaime, and a decent header on it from Salgado, but again, Fenlison with fairly straightforward work.
Yeah, more positive from Las Vegas. I like that free kick, because you said they changed the point of attack. They allowed their players to move around, and then they put the ball into the box. Very clever way to lose your marker, and some good play there from Las Vegas. Seen them better in the last 5 minutes than we have for most of this first half.
As it will be a throw in here. It seemed like from Culbertson in particular, love to play that ball between the lines tonight. Greg there able to at least earn the throw in. Dakers on this near side. Or rather Dikwa, as the challenge will come in from Inigo out for another throw. St. Louis taking their sweet time, though, to see out the remainder of this one.
Yeah, they're in a wonderful position. 2 goals up at home. No need for them to rush or do anything crazy.
This fall went down in the area, but Cavita will just let it come out for a throw. But it will be Las Vegas ball. Cavita can barely believe it, and certainly takes his time in giving the ball back. Bit early for time wasting, do you think, Gary?
Well, he was saying it was his throw, and he was pointing at the linesman as if the linesman had given him the throw, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. Nonetheless, got to keep concentrating, and there you go.
And that is the end of the incident-filled first half. 3 goals from St. Louis coming from Kavita, a golazzo from Kadeem Takers, and Kyle Gregg finishing off the scoring. Las Vegas Lights getting a penalty back through Omar Salgado, but it is St. Louis who have been off to a brilliant start here in this first half, Gary.
They have very, very impressed. Lots of work for Las Vegas Lights to do second half. At least the last 5 minutes, they were more positive, got balls into that St. Louis box. Through forward, some big players trying to make something happen, but a lot of work for them to do. Perhaps got a lucky penalty, and so they'll need to improve a lot to stop this very good St. Louis FC team.
Your score at the half, St. Louis 3, Las Vegas 1. We're into the Hollywood Casino halftime show. Coming up, you'll look at the first half highlights and the best from around USL in week number 21. We're into the Hollywood Casino halftime show next.
A lottery ticket is so much more than a piece of paper. It's wonder, opportunity, dreams. And not just for players. 100% of the profits from every Missouri lottery ticket you play goes back to schools, teachers, and students. Play it forward with the Missouri Lottery.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees.
There's really only one place where the carpets are always red and the stars are everywhere you look. There's no place like Hollywood. Hollywood Casino, St. Louis.
When you need quality electrical work for your home or business, look to the electricalconnection.org. Created as a partnership between IBEW Local 1 electricians and the St. Louis chapter of the National Electrical Contractors Association, the Electrical Connection has been setting the standard for electrical excellence in St. Louis for over 100 years. You can depend on our highly skilled and trained workforce. Your #1 source for quality electrical and communication contractors, electricalconnection.org.
Will launch again. The header comes in, and it's Sam Fink, the captain, with the winner with just a minute left to play. Simpson Silverson taking off the chest by Gregg, who strikes and scores an equalizing goal.
Calistri with the spin and finds a way to slot it past Fabian Serta. What a return game for Joey Calistri.
Welcome into the Hollywood Casino halftime report. St. Louis FC playing host this evening to Las Vegas Lights. The St. Louis FC Academy teams were not the only ones opening their campaigns last week. The ECNL and Elite Girls teams went back to work too. And as you'll see in tonight's Hollywood Casino halftime report, these girls know how to have fun. Take a look.
This is our preseason camp. Last year, the ECNL program came out here and did this for the first time. Had an extremely positive experience, and this year we wanted to expand the experience to our elite program as well.
Man on 3. 1, 2, 3, sing!
It is not every day that you get to be a part of something different, something that can really change a program, an organization, a city.
Bring them together, create a closer connection between the groups so that there isn't a special or a certain divide that naturally happens when you have a first group and a second group and what have you. So we're trying to eliminate that divide, if you will. I think this is a great start to that. We want to further that moving forward in the season and create friendships and bonds and relationships and start the season next weekend up at Eclipse at the Showcase.
Don't wait to make your mark. Don't wait to leave something behind. And right here, this camp right here, right now, you can leave your mark.
So we've kind of adopted this theme within the girls program called More Than a Game, or hashtag MTAG, More Than a Game. And so for us with the girls, it is much more than a game to them. It's social. They really enjoy each other's company, enjoy hanging around each other, and from all the years of experience working with females, the more they get along off the field, it really translates on the field.
If you don't make it fun, then why are we doing this?
3, 2, 1, drop.
It's our more than a game experience. We live by it, we breathe it, we love it, and we're going to, instill it into the culture every single day we're together.
They lead by 3-1 right now against Las Vegas. But coming up next, a big challenge on Wednesday night. It is on ESPN3 if you want to check it out. They take on Sacramento Republic.
Yep, should be a good game. The way they're playing at the moment, it's going to be a tough one for Sacramento because St. Louis look really solid. I mean, 3 goals in 1 half. Difficult team to score against. And they've got the St. Louligans.
And they'll have them behind them at the Toyota on Wednesday night. But in terms of the security that a team has now in Sacramento, they feel pretty confident they're going to the playoffs. But St. Louis need these games and are certainly playing like it. As you take a look at the upcoming schedule here, home with Sacramento, and then you're going to want to get those points at home to Tulsa Roughnecks as well on the 25th. But away matches against Fresno, Sounders 2, and Portland 2. Portland 2, one of the teams that they are chasing at the moment, so will be big to get at least a result in that one to not allow Portland Timbers to drift even further clear of them at the moment.
Yeah, look, it's tough because they can't afford to lose too many of these. But the great thing about getting into the playoffs when you've had to win most of your games is you're in good form. Sometimes if you're near the top and then you've already qualified and then you take your foot off the pedal, it's hard to kick back into gear. So for St. Louis, if they can keep winning and keep the momentum going and they go into the playoffs on a winning streak, that's good for them.
In the Hollywood Casino halftime show, it is St. Louis 3, Las Vegas 1. Let's take a look at some of the best highlights from around USL.
Second time, and it's blocked. Wow, what a save from Wazinski there.
And another save for Lopez. Estrada, save, Fennelson.
Nachimpong, left-footed ball, saved.
Starikov, save, Grant Singh. Sparks the counterattack the other way. Christian Duke couldn't get there. Great move. T2 on the move. It's a 2-on-1. Still with it. T2 all the way. Oh my goodness.
To free up Sam Hamilton, and now speaking of freeing up, here's Shane Malcolm. Malcolm with the left foot scores!
What a tremendous goal from Shane Malcolm. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, looking to work some space, but Jeff's gonna give him a goal! He opened the jam with his 4th goal of the season, and it's an absolute beauty.
Another chance at San Antonio FC delivers. But Desmond will send it across. Adi on the header, and Pickens makes the save. And again, it's a teasing ball towards the back post, and Ferrigno somehow, some way, tips it over the bar.
Troyer! Oh, the spectacular save by McGuire.
Mohamed, no.
Oh!
Danny Lynn, great save.
5 players edge of the Tampa Bay penalty area, and oh, what a goal. And it's Nana Adakora. Pushing up field. Goes to the top by Venegas. And it's in for Indy. McInerney on the doorstep.
Well played into the box for Asante. Knocks it down, and it's in the net.
crosses this one. Far side for Uso. Into the back of the net.
Nice little touch.
To Francois. There it is. It's onside of the house. Lead.
Not down. Illich stabs it back. Davis.
Some of the best from around USL and week number 21 as we now take a look at the upcoming ESPN schedule. St. Louis are up next on ESPN3. They play host to Sacramento Republic. But in terms of the rest of the fixtures, Gary, which catches your eye?
Phoenix Rising always. I love the way they play. An exciting team doing really well this season. And in particular, two Ghanaian players, Gladson Owako and Solomon Asante. I'm just wondering whether Didier Drogba makes an appearance or not.
Yeah, and certainly the national viewers would love to see Drogba playing. He is in his final season playing professional soccer for Phoenix. But these are all huge games for St. Louis. They're just out of this playoff picture, but with games in hand, can catch up to Portland and Swope. But difficult games at home, obviously tonight against Las Vegas, but midweek against one of the best sides in USL in Sacramento.
Yeah, Sacramento is vital. If you're playing at home, you've got to get the points. But as you say, they can get back into that top 8, and that's all you need to do. That's step number 1. Get into those playoff positions, and you can take whatever gets thrown at you after that.
You can have games in hand as much as you want, but you have to convert them into 3 points. We are in the Hollywood Casino halftime show coming up. And let's take a look at the first half stats in this one before we take you to break and show you the highlights. St. Louis with the 3 goals. The possession favors Las Vegas, but if there was a balance of play statistic, you'd have to say it's well in favor of St. Louis.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, shots on target 5. You know, 3, maybe 4 of those were excellent. Well, 3 end up as goals, so they have to be good. When you look at Las Vegas, their 3 shots on target, they didn't really work Finlayson enough. And then look, 3 yellow cards to 0 as well. So in terms of discipline at the back, there's some issues there for Las Vegas. But as a whole, you just get the feeling that they're struggling to create anything really good in that St. Louis box. And if that does not change in the second half, then I can't see how Las Vegas walk away from this match with any points.
Giving away too many fouls as well. It's not just about yellow cards. It's about giving away fouls in dangerous areas that have allowed any number of set pieces, any number of corners and set pieces from all over the pitch.
Yeah, it builds pressure every time that ball comes in. We saw the 1 goal came from a set piece, came from a corner, wasn't cleared properly. You know, if you give away too many corners and free kicks, eventually something's going to bounce the opposition's way and you're going to be in trouble. So all in all, I think Las Vegas have got issues got to sort out, and St. Louis and St. Louligans are going to be happy with the way they're playing, because very impressed. I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't go all the way to the top 8, and who knows from there, St. Louis could still have a fantastic season.
Going to need to convert home matches into 3 points. They're 45 minutes on their way to doing that tonight. They lead by 3 goals to 1 in the Hollywood Casino halftime show.
When you need quality electrical work for your home or business, look to the electricalconnection.org. Created as a partnership between IBEW Local 1 electricians and the St. Louis chapter of the National Electrical Contractors Association, the Electrical Connection has been setting the standard for electrical excellence in St. Louis for over 100 years. You can depend on our highly skilled and trained workforce, your #1 source for quality electrical and communication contractors, electricalconnection.org.
A lottery ticket is so much more than a piece of paper. It's wonder, opportunity, dreams. And not just for players. 100% of the profits from every Missouri lottery ticket you play goes back to schools, teachers, and students. Play it forward with the Missouri Lottery.
Here come the last of our 2018s.
Toyota's national clearance event is the best part of summer.
And with super low APR financing and great lease deals, it won't last long.
Oh, I'm so excited.
You are not alone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah! Yes!
But my job.
Get $2,500 customer cash on a new 2018 RAV4. Or get 0% APR for 48 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a new RAV4.
Save on the last of the 2018s. Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
clock will launch again. The header comes in, and it's Sam Fink, the captain, with the winner with just a minute left to play. Sends some service in, taken off the chest by Greg, who strikes and scores an equalizing goal.
Calistri with the spin and finds a way to slot it past Fabian Serta. What a return game for Joey Calistri.
And welcome back to live coverage of St. Louis FC, home to Las Vegas Lights. They lead by 3-1, and now let's bring you the first half highlights coming up here in just a matter of moments, but it seems like we're about ready to get the second half underway. Don't believe we'll have time for it, but in terms of Las Vegas, they're going to need to probably make a change or two. They made one in the first half with Eric Avila coming on for Daigo Kobayashi, who appeared to come off with a knock. And it will be Juan Carlos Garcia who will be the halftime change. Still Freddie Adu available on the bench for Las Vegas, but it's Garcia who's allowed the opportunity to try and make this change. Garcia, the 33-year-old Mexican, did play with Chelis in Mexico, in Puebla. And here he is. And we are underway here in the second half. Rafael Garcia just sending long. Did look like he might have drifted into that back three. Some of the center backs are going to start to come forward now. Trying to aid in this attack as the counterattack is on. The flag stays down. Wall falls into the air for 4. And the save is produced by Ferrinho, but it's opportunity stuff for Culbertson, and Ferrinho recovers. Madness in the opening minute of the second half.
Great save from Mourinho there to keep them going. The goalkeeper, Ferrinho, brilliant. But they seem to throw everybody forward, Las Vegas. They threw the centre-backs forward. And Wolf Fall here counters into the space. Keeper makes one save there. Carl Gregg tries to get onto it, but he doesn't. And then there's a second save from the keeper.
I think Fall was trying to play the ball towards the back post as the Electro Savings corner is delivered. Dakers is trying to get something on it. Wiki away. Seemed like the strategy was out of the halftime whistle, throw everyone forward, send a long ball forward, but that sent them very exposed. There was appeals for offside as Fall was absolutely trying to play it back post towards Diqua. And Ferrinho guessed that way and then gets the second save.
I think it was Culbertson, was it, who had the effort on goal there. The keeper saved. And not for the first time, Ferrinho keeps Las Vegas in the match.
As the cross is sent in, and Finlayson allowing it to bounce in front of him. That's game over if not for those saves. Going 4-1 down at the start of the second half would have been a difficult mountain to climb for Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure the logic behind that. Is it obviously to get a goal back early on, but to take that sort of risk and throw your centre-backs forward and get caught on a simple counter-attack through the middle? That's the stuff you do with a minute left, not the start of the second half. But hey, you know what, Las Vegas, you give us entertainment, and that's what it's all about in Las Vegas.
It's very much been the mantra of the club as well. And Chelis, the manager, is not terribly concerned about risk. He will throw numbers forward. He will play with reckless abandon. That's why games involving his team this season have seen 77 goals as Culbertson will put it towards Fall, who got in ahead of the keeper, but the header goes high and wide, and it will be a goal kick.
Lucky Ferrinho, the goalkeeper there, comes for the ball, doesn't get it, and will fall high and mighty. Let's have a look at him. He climbs, gets up. No, it's no foul. Warfall heads that cleanly, and Ferrinho, very, very lucky man there.
If anything, Ferrinho caught a bit of Fall in trying to punch away. Torres, Mendiola, and dealt with there by Cavita. Gregg with the well flicked on header. Deke was going to try and win the ball. The defender falling into him. Referee allowing play to continue. Substitute Garcia. Christian Torres. As Vegas work from right to left in this second half. On the turn is Salgado. The cross delivered there by Ochoa. Away by St. Louis. Gregg little bit of a coming together there for Garcia as the ball is clipped over the top, but not close to any white shirts. It's been a very back and forth start to this second half.
Wow. It's hard to take in what Las Vegas do, but they are very entertaining. And hopefully it brings a lot of fans to come and watch them play. But whether it's straight out of the coach's handbook, I'm not 100% certain.
Now giving away 45 goals towards the top in USL this season. It's just part of the tactics. This is a side as well that has made a number of changes. Played a lot of players, and I think Chelis kind of realized that he needed a bit more quality in his team.
Yep, certainly plenty of changes. When did they played, what, 3-4 weeks ago, and there was something like 6 changes on this Las Vegas side. So if you're going to change that often, it's hard to get a routine and a rhythm going.
So now I just think that St. Louis think that first time long ball over the top is on, with how many numbers are flying forward for Las Vegas Lights. Ferrinho. Some decent distribution there. Mendiola doing well to take out of the air, but Sam Finke able to marshal it out for a throw. It's been an enthralling evening of football here in St. Louis. 3 first half goals for the hosts. Kavita scoring off a corner. Dakers bending a gorgeous strike into the top corner as a free kick there in the center of the park. And the third coming from Kyle Gregg off a defensive error as it's taken quickly. Gregg towards that back post. It was behind Albertiqua though. And the opportunity goes begging.
Good opportunity as well, wasn't it? Kyle Gregg thinking quickly. But Las Vegas giving away these golden opportunities to St. Louis.
And that was not quite the right ball from Mendiola on the return for Sammy Ochoa. And it results in a St. Louis throw. Surprised to have not seen Freddie Adu as the halftime substitution. He has played plenty for Vegas, settling in here to his 13th professional club. Hilton. That's a heavy challenge in there from Rafael Garcia. This is a St. Louis side that, or rather a Vegas side that likes to get stuck in. And Hilton on the poor end of that one. Referee Dopgut is going to have a word there.
He seems hurt, Lewis Hilton. He took him. Oh yeah, that's right on top of his foot there, and he's taking his time to get up. But they are a physical. Yeah, okay, they've shaken hands, which is good, but or hugged each other. But they are a physical side, Las Vegas. They do get stuck into you. But then it also explains why their disciplinary record is so poor.
Not too many options available to Anthony Poulos this evening. 4 outfield players, including one signed midweek and one that just got medically cleared in Michael Cox. The other being Austin Audi Jepson, native of Green Bay, signing in the week. As Hilton plays in Gregg, who feeds in the run of Kadeem Dakers, who's already scored tonight. Again cutting onto his right, this time Wiki there to intervene. Hilton will at least maintain possession here through Ledbetter. Dikwa trying to slide him in. A bit far out in front.
One thing about St. Louis I enjoy is when they attack, it's with purpose, it's carefully constructed. Kyle Gregg so good at bringing other players in. And you got the pace of Dakers and especially Dikwa. So they think their way through it and they create really good opportunities. With Las Vegas, it seems to be more hit and hope and you know, less well thought out. 2 different styles, but I'm very impressed with St. Louis and beginning to believe that they can certainly make the playoffs.
And that is the goal under Anthony Poulos. Really for the first time in charge of a team where he does have those stated aims. Last year's with Orlando City B, that's very much a different charge. Here in St. Louis has had to do a lot of work, as you mentioned earlier, Gary, in terms of keeping this team together with injuries, with changes. Shipped out a player and Christian Valesky off to OKC, who's done well for them. wants to implement his program. So we have received word that Las Vegas are set to make their third and final change. With still more than 35 minutes to play. Any more details as those become available. As Garduño lets it go out of play. As we have received word that'll be Matt Thomas who will come on for Vegas.
It could be a risky maneuver because they've got two defenders on yellow cards, Inigo and Wiki. And if you've made all your subs and one of those picks up, mind you, you couldn't, if they picked up a second yellow, you couldn't substitute them. But nonetheless, you want to keep one player back in case you have issues where you need to bring somebody else on. You lose a defender, you need to bring on a defender and take a striker off. If you're playing all your cards this early into the match, risky, but once again, what do you expect from Las Vegas?
Taking a gamble, you might say.
Absolutely.
Here's Hilton in a pocket of space for Ledbetter. He's going to slide in Tikwa, but he had drifted offside.
Again, lovely play from St. Louis. Good passing, good build-up. Just a little bit lazy there, allowing yourself to get caught offside.
And so it is Christian Torres who makes way for Matt Thomas, the Las Vegas native in his first professional setup, making his 13th appearance of the season. And there is the local boy trotting onto the pitch. We'll slide in to that left-hand side where Torres was, as Wiki steps up, but appeals for handball and given.
Yeah, Wiki will have to be careful on a yellow card already. Got to use his experience, 35 years old, plenty of experience in the game. The referee just having a word with the Las Vegas players. No doubt they're frustrated, they're 2 goals behind, it's just not happening for them. A lot of experience from the Mexican leagues that they can bring in here. And they're going to fight. There's no way they're going to let this one slip away without a real hard fight. And that's what you would expect from players who've played at the level that many of these Las Vegas players have.
As multiple sliding challenges coming in, but fall in the end, the beneficiary is just going through Albertico. There was Miguel Angel Garduño. And another free kick. 3/4 of the starting midfield coming off. And Las Vegas have to hope that they don't get any more injuries as well, as Culbertson will deliver that one towards that back post, but over everyone and out of play.
It's a poor cross from a man who's got a fantastic left foot there. You expect better, expect him to be able to pick out players. A bit of a lack of quality for a moment there. Sorry, I'm going to say there's Ferrinho saying push up and let's try and put some pressure on St. Louis. Goalkeepers kept them in the game, giving them a chance to try and get back on level terms.
And you wonder how often we might see those center backs go flying forward. Here you get a look at Chalisny, Las Vegas Lights manager. Managed with Puebla. Also a pundit on Spanish language television here in this country. As here is the substitute Thomas with a good ball.
It's a good effort, it's a good thought. I know what he wanted to do. He gets it on his left foot, but he's got to bend it. He's got to get it in there and then let the ball bend in towards the strikers and sort of die, give them a chance to get on the end of it. That was too straight and direct. Didn't give those strikers any chance to get on the end of that and try and head that past Jake Finlayson.
It was a good piece of skill and well done by Matt Thomas to take the defender on. Bright lights of Las Vegas have been dimmed this evening. As given away there by Dakers, but Las Vegas will earn a free kick in the end after the challenge snapped in from Dakers. Just allow me to tell you that Las Vegas have given away 16 fouls tonight in the opening close to an hour of this one. So So certainly plenty of aggression. St. Louis have half that number now, giving up 8.
Yeah, it's their style. Said early on it was going to be physical, and that's what Anthony Pulis says. But he said he won't let it stop St. Louis playing their game.
As the ball is delivered, the header comes in there from the onrushing center back Garduño, but never really threatening Jake Fenlison, who himself has been in a battle for the starting goalkeeping position with Tomas Gomez, who is on the bench this evening. You bring in Gomez, who is a native of St. Louis, is a Golden Glove winner in USL, and I have to say at the moment, Jake Fenlison is preferred.
Yeah, 2 very good goalkeepers. Great position to be in. Let them fight it out. And there's many clubs where that exists. We might even have the great Real Madrid with Keylor Navas and Thibaut Courtois if Navas decides to stay. And as a manager, Anthony Pulis, you're delighted to have 2 quality goalkeepers. Each one pushes the other to perform better every time they get on that pitch.
This ball is played first time there by Ochoa. And out of play for a St. Louis throw. You see at times, obviously Las Vegas has that direct approach, but they've had difficulty combining in any meaningful way going forward.
Yeah, they haven't got quality in the box. So, and it's one thing being physical, but you know, it's got to lead you to the edge of the box where you then need to have the quality passing, and that's been missing from their play this evening, as far as I can see. Where St. Louis, when they get around the box, they craft the ball. They comes in at the right weight. It gives their strikers really good opportunities. A difference between the 2 sides.
Talked about the difficult opponent that St. Louis face on Wednesday at home to Sacramento Republic. Another top 4 side awaits Las Vegas. They're away in Orange County in midweek. So they probably would have been more likely to get points off a team below the playoff line. So difficulties await Las Vegas as they too try and head towards the playoffs, and that was a little late and nasty there from Matt Thomas. And I believe that's going to see him at least with a talking to, if not into the book.
Yeah, I think probably a yellow card. Let's see if the card is out. Yeah, I think the card is out. So once again, indisciplined from Las Vegas.
And it is a yellow for Matt Thomas, a 4th yellow, and this is just for a player who came on 6 minutes ago.
It's unnecessary, though, if you have a look at it, Chris. Well, you know, the defender's on the edge of his box. Most he can do is just knock it 10 yards forward in his own half. He's no threat. Why go and crash into him? It means now that if you do mistime a tackle, you're going to get sent off. So now you've got to be careful with your tackles. It just puts you under unnecessary pressure. And again, I love the fact that Las Vegas want to get stuck in, but there's a way to do it it's footballing intelligence, and I don't think that was an intelligent thing for Matt Thomas to do.
St. Louis have just kind of slowed down a little bit in the last 10 minutes or so after getting a pretty quality opportunity on the counterattack to score to open this second half. And just as I say that, Kadeem Dankers is away. He carries on into the penalty area. His left foot crosses towards Greg, but dealt with by Inigo, and away for a throw.
Good pace from Kadeem Dankers. A wonderful St. Louis at both sides with him and Albert Dick, where they have players who've got the pace to get away from defenders. And you've got someone like Carl Gregg just waiting in the middle for a ball in from out wide.
Throwing on that far side for Culbertson. Towards that corner flag, and Digwa. And he just earns another throw. No real space to whip in a long throw. Going into the penalty area, seeing that become a bit more in vogue. You see Culbertson with his feet up against the advertising board just to create the slightest bit of space. It's really his only choice at the moment.
It's a good throw as well.
Yeah, to the edge of the 6-yard area, but away by a duo of Las Vegas defenders. Opportunity might still be on as the advantage is given, and the ball is sent over the top for Raul Mendiola. Fenlison's going to have to go back on his line. Mendiola into the area, cuts it back onto his left. Mendiola trying to send it through the area, but cutting it out there leave with Sam Fink.
Could he have done something when he cut it on his right foot? He didn't need to take it back onto his left. He had opened up the goal. He had runners in the box, an opportunity to get a shot in or a pass. Have a look at it here. Comes inside on his right. Now he'll release the ball. The problem is you come back on your left. The defenders shut you down. Lost opportunity, perhaps.
He's a left-footed player, but that is sort of the difficulty in featuring one leg with more priority. As Salgado will take the corner. Plenty of pace on it, but again dealt with by St. Louis. Only as far, though, as Thomas. And Mendiola again. Now towards the other byline, and in the end, the cross catching practice for Finlayson.
Yeah, simple cost to catch. No quality with that. So, again, when you look for the real quality from Las Vegas in that around the box, you don't seem to get it in the same levels you do from St. Louis.
Now again, route one attempted. It's Tikwa who takes it out of the air around the keeper, but Ferreño gets just enough of it, and it will be a corner.
Now there's the difference. A ball in for St. Louis causes a real problem, and once again, it's only good goalkeeping from Ferreño that keeps his team in this game.
And it's vital that he gets something on it. As Tikwa got in behind that back three and took a touch around Ferreño, but he was still able to recover and get his hands to it a couple of times in the second half. He's been full extension, diving to prevent St. Louis goals. There will be another Electro Savings corner. Hilton again to take. Pace towards the near post, away by Ochoa.
That's a poor corner, that. If you're going to knock it in the near post, get it at head height so someone can flick it on. But that low, it's just too easy for the home team to clear. So I'm sure Lewis Hilton, who put the corner in for the first goal, would have expected more from him from that particular set piece.
Baker's trying to take out of the air. Had a slew of throw-ins here for St. Louis. As it will be a deflection off of Vegas for another throw-in. Portland Timbers, too, have added to their lead. They lead by 2-0 away to Stowe Park Rangers, who continue their downward spiral. It'll be welcome news to the St. Louis supporters. We'll have them right now a point off the 8th playoff spot in the Western Conference in the live table. Level on points with Colorado Springs, but with 4 games in hand on them, as the ball is played in the path of Ledbetter, but Ferreño got there first. Might still be on for Austin Ledbetter, who goes down in the area. Play on, and more challenges come in, and Garcia not pleased with Ledbetter going down a couple of times. As this time Ochoa gets a chunk out of Sam Fink, and it'll be a free kick.
Yeah, Ledbetter going down, but he didn't seem to appeal for a penalty. He went down as Ferreño seems to have taken a knock. Let's have a look at it again. As he gets the ball here, the keeper, it goes over the keeper, to be fair. Then he's waiting for the contact here. It wasn't enough. He goes down, he gets straight back up, and then he tries to get past there. Again, no penalty, but his second time around, he's got every right to go down and see what the referee says. That's a fall, but he gets straight up, in fairness to him. There's a little bit of contact.
And it was actually Ledbetter who had more of a grab at Garcia than the other way around. And this would not be the greatest of news for Las Vegas, as Ferreño has been a massive player for them tonight.
It's interesting, he got that same sort of cramp after 15 minutes. That's very early in a match to get it the first time. Even here, 67 minutes, as a goalkeeper, you rarely get cramps. I wonder if it's something else. Cramp normally happens to outfield players who are doing a lot more running. I wonder if it's an old injury or something else is giving him a problem.
It will be Ferreño. Just have a little bit of pain in his left foot, it would appear. But did give the thumbs up back to his technical area, so should be fine to carry on. As you would expect, very colorful gloves he's sporting.
He's a colorful goalkeeper, and his manager's pondering, or technical director is pondering, what to do, how to get his team back in this match. But the goalkeeper is the man who's kept them in this game. At times, some of the defending has been crazy. That half-time, throwing everybody forward, including the centre-back Joel Wiki, which led me to nearly nickname him WikiLeaks.
At times it has been a bit vulnerable at the back as a foul there given against Garduño. And now a little bit of coming together there between the two teams. Garduño just leaving a little bit extra there for the challenge. I think given his stone-faced demeanor at the moment, he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, a lot of these players have played in the Mexican leagues. It's a hard, tough, very, very high-level league, and this sort of pushing and bumping is the norm. They can take this. A little bit different league, the USL. They're not quite as used to that sort of level of physicality. And the referee just deciding whether that physicality was over and above the acceptable limits.
Dikwa and the referee and the assistant. Oh, I think Garduño, and it is indeed red.
Something happened after the push there, didn't it?
And I believe it is for Garduño kicking the ball at Dikwa that gets him sent off early.
I didn't see the second part. I saw the push, but well, the referee has decided.
And it was after consultation with the assistant who was right there. But I think you can see from Garduño's demeanor after he did it, I think he had an idea of what he was doing.
Yeah, I certainly saw the push and thought that's just, you know, professionalism getting in people's faces. But what happened afterwards is what the real big problem. And now how many red cards and yellow cards is this Las Vegas team going to keep producing? It's not good enough. You know, at some point you can be clever players, but you've got to push the limit and then stop. You can't go at giving red cards and getting players sent off. We saw that red card from the previous game. Carlos Alvarez, that was a terrible red card, terribly unnecessary as well.
And that is a 6th red card of the season for Las Vegas, joint top of USL with LA Galaxy 2 and Tulsa Roughnecks.
Oh, well, got to be changes from the technical staff in terms of how their team behave. Can't keep allowing players to get red cards. And maybe it's a problem with having a physical approach to the game, is if you overdo it, if you overcook it, then you're going to have all problems. Now, a yellow card here for arguing from the players or not getting back 10 yards, whichever.
It's either Garcia or Mendiola who goes into the book for that. We'll get confirmation on that in a second. And it's Culbertson or Hilton over the set piece. And it's Culbertson who will whip it in. In the end, straightforward work for Ferreño, but even before that, you see the massive bodies on that back post, and it results in a foul against Sam Fink.
Well, this is where Las Vegas have to be careful. Down to 10 men, they've just got to keep it calm now. The last thing they want to do is overreact. They've got too many players on yellow cards. I think that's the 5th yellow card handed out there, plus the red. They don't want this to all fall apart. They're not dead yet. Yes, it's a mountain to climb with 2 goals back, but keep yourself in the game. Give yourself a chance of at least walking away with a point here tonight.
And here might be an opportunity for Las Vegas Lights. It is a free kick. And an opportunity to get the ball in towards the penalty area. It's actually taken quickly here out to this left-hand side to Matt Thomas, who will send it in with pace. Mendiola let it run. And now a lovely ball there from Dikwa. And Ledbetter returns the favor. Dikwa trying to get around the defender. Salgado back doing some work. Here's Wall Fall. Charging on, here's Fall, he'll play in Ledbetter! And it just goes wide, just kind of sliced across it. And after scoring last week, Ledbetter unable to get this clean strike towards goal.
Should have done better there, Ledbetter. He's got to hit target, got to make the goalkeeper work and kill this game. What an opportunity. Wolfall setting him up perfectly, waited. Lovely pass. It had to go the other side of the keeper for me and kill the game. They haven't done it. And they've kept Las Vegas alive.
The challenge in there from Hilton. Might that ball have come earlier from Fall and maybe Ledbetter had a bit more spaces. Here's Dikwa. Now again towards the area. Low back towards Greg. Flicked on and Dakers has to do a bit of running to get on the other end of that one. Still on though for St. Louis. Culbertson. And Dakers again. Might just have heavy legs for the amount of running he's done this evening. Hilton, a bit behind Culbertson. Wallfall, who led that counterattack. Now Dikwa in a pocket of space as Ledbetter charging forward. Las Vegas with not too many numbers behind the ball. Still see the importance of having numbers to go forward as appeals for handball are given. It'll be a free kick to Las Vegas.
And that was a wonderful opportunity for St. Louis to have really wrapped this game up there. Ledbetter getting through, and yes, perhaps the ball could have come a little bit earlier from Wallfall, but even when it came, it was a great chance to have hit the target. And the keeper was able Frinya was able just to watch it go by. So, look, still a mountain to climb for Las Vegas, mind you, 2 goals, but just one of them. And suddenly we're going to have a cliffhanger of an ending to this game.
It just seems, given how far forward Las Vegas are going and down to 10 men, that there are going to be opportunities aplenty for St. Louis FC, as I believe we're going to get our first change here of this one for the throw-in here from Austin Ledbetter. Las Vegas have already used all 3 of their committed substitutions, and now that should be a double change that looks to be ready for Corey Herzog and Michael Cox. A debut for the 26-year-old Canadian. Comes over to St. Louis from Nashville. Mid-season trade in exchange for an international roster spot as the ball is sent into the path of Dikwa. But well done there by Ochoa, the number 9, coming back and doing some defending.
He's a long way back, isn't he, the big number 9?
He's playing more like the number 6 right now.
He's probably worried about all these defensive lapses from Las Vegas. He's come back to help, but they need goals. They need him up front.
Fault. Recognized the pressure very well. As Ledbetter left it short there for Fall. And now an opportunity for Las Vegas through Salgado, who'll strike from a long way out, but that's not what he was looking for.
No, way off target, mishit that completely.
And you saw the heavy legs of Kadeem Dakers. He'll be coming off, and Ledbetter might as well. As actually, Ledbetter won't be coming off. It will be Greg who will. You saw his name put up on the board. So Michael Cox making his debut for St. Louis. And Corey Herzog coming on for Kadeem Dakers. We saw his heavy legs. He put in a shift.
Oh, they both did. Carl Gregg superb, as well as Dakers. And now fresh legs, which makes a lot of sense. Michael Cox and Corey Herzog can cause all sorts of problems for Ferrigno and company just when they're having to throw bodies forward. They're having to take risks. You've got 2 fresh pairs of legs on this for St. Louis.
As that double change is brought to you by G&W Meats. So Greg and Dakers off. Michael Cox, who you saw there, was added July the 12th from Nashville, but it's not cleared until today, August the 11th, on account of medical reasons. Another player with ties to Anthony Poulos from his time at Orlando City B. As there was a foul away from the play, or rather a coming together. See Juan Carlos Garcia is worse for it, and now some coming togethers there around the player. Wallfall and Sammy Ochoa just having a word. Now these teams are going to have to be separated.
Not quite sure what happened there, but sometimes when your player's down and injured, you don't want other players trying to pull him up or touch him. You've got to stay away from the opposition when they're injured. So I don't know if there was something like that going on. But it has been a game of, it's been very physical. Players have been in each other's face. Let's have a look here. Okay, there's a clash of heads, and then there's something that happens after this that causes the problem.
Yeah, it's Ledbetter and Juan Carlos Garcia with the coming together. And somewhere in the aftermath of that incident, Wallfall did not like something that happened there.
Yeah, and while we've got a moment to talk about discipline, we can go back to that Garduño sending off. It was so unnecessary, wasn't it? He'd already pushed. Was it Dick where he pushed? And then something else happened after that.
I believe he kicked the ball at Dikwa.
Oh, you can't do that.
Kind of an aggressive fashion. As a way of kind of putting it out of play, but seemed like there was some intent and some malice. And I think that's what the assistant and the referee were trying to judge. Is here there is the conversation. I overheard from the St. Louis bench someone shouting he tried to spray water in his face, but Wallfall did not like something that happened in there. And Ledbetter.
Yeah, he seems to be okay after that knock to the face. Look, if a team's being physical against you, the best way to deal with it is to beat them. It is, and that's what St. Louis are doing. And the more they get in your face, the more they kick you, the more you take advantage of any lapses in concentration, and you get them sent off, which is what's happened, red cards and yellows. If they're going to, you know, push it too far, then you make them pay for it. So Anthony Pulis' team have dealt with the physicality. They're 3-1 up, and to be fair, could have been 4 and 5 if it wasn't for Ferrinho and a couple of wasted opportunities. So St. Louis their fans have really got to be, you know, happy with what they've seen, and I'm sure St. Louligans are jumping up and down. It's been a really good performance.
Yeah, getting the goals in that first half, and have taken care of the lead fairly comfortably, and now a man up with 10 minutes to play. And would also like what's going on in Kansas City at the moment, with Swope Park trailing by 2-0. Really identifies them as the target for that final playoff place. Now just 1 point off them with 2 games in hand, presuming results hold. And certainly in terms of the teams that are around that final playoff place are on the best form. St. Louis, Colorado Springs, as a matter of fact, just went 2-1 down away to Tulsa Roughnecks. So St. Louis would be alone in 9th, a point off of Swope. Fresno FC lost in the week to LA Galaxy 2. They're 2 points off with 3 games more played. OKC Energy in 12th at the moment, 27 points from 25. So St. Louis look the clear favorite. If there's going to be a team displaced from the playoff places, it'll be St. Louis, who probably overtakes them, as Joey Calistri will be the final change, and it's Ledbetter who took the brunt end of that challenge. St. Louis medical staff just being cautious there with the potential head injury. And that is a substitution brought to you by G&W Meats.
They were just saying that, but that St. Louis have games in hand, and that's going to be crucial. You know, if you've got 2 or 3 games in hand, is it over Swope? Every chance to get over them, above them rather, and you've got a home game coming up. So all looking great for St. Louis. And this 3-4-3 they've been playing that Anthony Pulis seems to enjoy has worked well. They look fantastic up front with those 3. I mean, Dacre's wide with his pace on the left, Dikwa on the right, Kyle Gregg in the middle. 3 up front works for them. And then, of course, they can bring on Herzog and others, Michael Cox as options. It's that man there must be very, very happy and confident that he's going to get in that top 8 and arrive with momentum, which is really good for St. Louis.
I wouldn't even mind climbing above 8th. Real Monarchs 6 points clear at the top of the Western Conference, have been one of the most dominant sides in the league, as that space was just vacated and Wallfall passed it to no one in particular. So getting into 7th, getting into 6th, maybe creating a better playoff matchup would be desired. Got to worry about getting in first. As Salgado tried to take it first time. Or rather, was Garcia. Here's the other Garcia, Rafael. Cross to be delivered by Mendiola. Took a deflection on the way through. And it will be a corner here for Las Vegas. Don't want to get too relaxed here for St. Louis.
Yep, good time for Las Vegas to score now. 3-2 with 8 minutes left. We really would have a humdinger of a finish.
Eric Avila to take the corner, and it's towards the penalty spot. Wiki rising, but it's Culbertson to try and take it clear. Taken down though by Salgado. Challenge comes in from Michael Cox, and they're coming together in the center of the park. Eventually comes off Culbertson, but a free kick against him.
Some complaints there. Oh no, it's cramp. Thought he was complaining that he got kicked, but it seems to be the effort expended by Las Vegas and the tired legs. I really have enjoyed the commitment from both these sides. They've given 100%. Las Vegas have been physically strong, and St. Louis have matched them, and the players have run themselves into the ground. So I think if you're watching this on television, or if you're at the match, you've got to appreciate the goals, the commitment, the drama, the intrigue, and just the the gambling aspect of Las Vegas football. Just thrown everything forward at times against St. Louis and been caught far too often on the counter-attack.
As Garcia will send the long ball into the area. But it fall there to boot it clear. Now Dikwa getting a powerful header on it, but got too much of Garcia in the process. Would have been St. Louis flying forward, but the foul there against Albert Dikwa. I think the referee, Greg Dubka, just telling him your arms are a bit too high. And the MLS veteran Garcia.
Well, it's because he's much taller than him. It's hard to see how else he could have challenged for the ball, but nonetheless, St. Louis dealing with the problem here. One-on-one at the back. This is risky.
And the header falls to the feet of Corey Herzog. He'll carry on his way, will feed in the run of fall, but clever reading of the game there from Salgado to just get a touch on it and prevent fall from getting in 1v1 on Ferrinho.
But that's Salgado, one of the strikers, playing as a centre-back. Sami Ochoa just came back, also a striker playing centre-back, and then wondering, well, where are the centre-backs then? What are they doing?
Is again Route 1 attempted by Las Vegas. Sam Fink. St. Louis just trying to see out these final 5 minutes, although with the incidents we've had as another coming together there in the air. Match will have a fair amount of added time. Culbertson. St. Louis back on home turf on Wednesday night, taking on Sacramento Republic. You can see the game on ESPN3. Those of you that are cable subscribers. Calistri was that final change for Ledbetter. Has settled into that wing-back position. He normally does like to get a bit further forward, be part of that forward line, but has to do a job with no real defensive options, and Anthony Poulos would not like to see Ledbetter potentially out for a week or two with a potential head injury. Would probably have to go back to that back four, as Calistri just gives the ball to Salgado. And now Matt Thomas charging on his way, trying to get around Fink. Does at least get the deflection and can carry on towards that byline. Can he keep it in play? He did not. The assistant's flag up on the far side, and it'll be a goal kick.
Nice and positive there from Matt Thomas. At least he's trying to get behind that St. Louis back four. He's had a few good opportunities, few good crosses, and I think he's certainly a good positive for Las Vegas in terms of what he brings to the team.
Again, Las Vegas down to 10. Miguel Angel Garduño getting sent off against Seattle Sounders 2. Vegas went down to 9. Loss away from home. The road has not been kind to Las Vegas Lights. They've given up 34 goals away from home in this their 12th away match. If this result holds, we'll have lost 8 of 12 on the road.
Yep, and on top of that, their record when falling behind is very poor. 1-1, lost 9, drawn 1. You gotta have the ability to come back into games if you fall behind. You can't lose every single time you go behind. And that's something Las Vegas will need to work at.
As Fall slides in the path of Michael Cox, begging for it on that back post. I think he might have drifted offside with a chance to still up for Herzog. The flag stays down. Here's Cox on his debut, sealing the 3 points for St. Louis FC. It's the debutant, Michael Cox, to make it St. Louis 4, Las Vegas 1.
Lovely setup from Herzog there. Gave his fellow substitute a great chance there to put that one in the back of the net and seal this game. Look at the excitement from the players. They've really played well, St. Louis. They've had opportunities to kill the game off. They've eventually done it, and done it in style. Herzog setting him up. Michael Cox with the goal. Here it goes again. Cox with the run. He sets up Herzog. Herzog round the keeper, head up, unselfishly says, Cox, you stick it in the back of the net. Together, let's go and celebrate. Brilliant from St. Louis.
Yes, there was a whiff of offside about that, but in the end, Herzog seeing the flag stay down and finding his fellow teammate. Herzog is a player who certainly does go looking for goals, so very unselfish of him on just 2 on the campaign to give away an easy chance at a goal by giving it to Michael Cox. And he's now got 1-1 in a green shirt.
1-1 and 1 goal every 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Is that the kind of return that the St. Louis fans will be expecting now?
Yep. Head coach there, not happy, but to be fair, the number of chances his defense, Las Vegas, have given away, you're not going to survive that. I mean, it's if it wasn't for Ferreño, this could be 6 or 7.
And straight away, Las Vegas trying to create an opportunity as Finlayson will just keep it in the box. And that is this result sorted. St. Louis, for the first time, will win 3 in a row, and for the first time, have scored 4. So a big night for St. Louis, and you'd imagine the look on this result as a key turning point. We did call this a playoff 6-pointer before the match, and given Las Vegas' position, if they had won, they would have been well placed to carry on in their challenge to try and get into the playoffs. But St. Louis clearly establishing that distance now. They'll be 6 points clear of Las Vegas Lights.
I think you're right to call it a turning point, because the way St. Louis have played, it must fill their players, their fans, and the coach with confidence that they can do more. They can do more than just make the top 8. They've played extremely well. Wonderful pace, counter-attack. Wall-Fall has been fantastic in the middle in setting things up. They've given very little away. To be fair, I still think it wasn't a penalty. And, I mean, as a coach, there's not much you can find fault with. And you wonder, well, if you play like this, could you go all the way?
St. Louis at times, as Herzog just clears. As here's just a conversation here between Chelis and Anthony Poulos. A bit angry at times it looked after that. We have seen these two teams have a physical, at times abrasive encounter. Cox towards Tikwa, not enough pace on it. As we have 3 minutes to be added on, that number might have shrunk after that 4th goal as the ball is hit first time over the top towards Herzog, who just starts to poke it around Ferreño. He had drifted offside. But Herzog getting greedy and going for 5. But the assistance flag had gone up.
Way too easy once again. One long ball beats that defense, beats Joel Wiki far too easily. And I don't know, if you're Las Vegas, you've got to be looking at that defense and saying, let's get, that's the first thing we need to do, is get defensively sound. What do you say, 45 goals, 46 goals conceded now? Way too much. I love the fact Las Vegas want to throw things forward, want to be different, but you've got to be defensively tight before you can do all of that.
St. Louis will just see out the final minute of this one. At the end of the night, will be 1 point off a playoff place with 2 games in hand. We mentioned turning points. The biggest one might have happened in Reno a couple of weekends ago. I was on commentary of that one, as a little bit extra away from the ball, and it's Sean Reynolds who's going to go into the book. The first booking against St. Louis. Just wonder what Greg Dopka might have seen, but away from home against one of the better sides in the Western Conference, St. Louis got 3 points on an extra time winner from Sam Fink, the man on the ball right now. After Reno were down to 10 men, as Las Vegas are tonight. As the ball is played in the path here of Herzog. Went for goal earlier, but might just see out the final few seconds of this one.
By the way, special shout out for the St. Louligans. They have been singing and dancing and playing drums and keeping their manager happy for the entire match, so got to give them some credit as well.
As at full time, it finishes St. Louis 4, Las Vegas Lights 1. St. Louis and Michael Cox seeing out the result in this second half and getting a set of 3 points that takes them 1 point off the 8th and final playoff spot in the Western Conference. Gary Bailey.
Yep, very, very impressed with St. Louis tonight. Their fans are going to be delighted. Strength in depth. Michael Cox comes off the bench. He looks good. So does Corey Herzog. And before that, Carl Greg Dakers and Dick were absolutely superb. They took on a physically tough Las Vegas side and put them to the sword. Could have been 5 or 6 or 7 if it wasn't for the keeper, Ferrinho. Problems for Las Vegas. Back to the drawing board. They need to stop conceding so many goals and stop the red cards as well.
Anthony Poulos and St. Louis get the 3 points to win by 4 goals to 1. We're in Edward Jones full time. Coming up next, we bring you our full match highlights, all the major incidents, a lot to get through. So stick with us. Once again, your final score. It's St. Louis FC 4, Las Vegas Lights FC 1.
A lottery ticket is so much more than a piece of paper. It's wonder, opportunity, dreams. And not just for players. 100% of the profits from every Missouri lottery ticket you play goes back to schools, teachers, and students.
At Edward Jones full time, it is St. Louis FC 4, Las Vegas Lights 1. That is the final score of this one. Chris Whittingham alongside Gary Bailey. And St. Louis with a dominant performance, getting the early goal off the corner through Kavita. And Las Vegas really struggled to recover. They did get a penalty that made it 2-1. As you take a look at the full-time stats, St. Louis eventually winning the possession battle, but far better chances, so many opportunities. They have 7 shots on target, but if there was a chances statistic, it would have been well into double digits for St. Louis.
It was. They played so well. Again, I think Las Vegas made it easy at times. They were throwing too many bodies forward. There were gaps everywhere. But the pace with which St. Louis counter-attacked and the pace of the ball that they played to each other, they really created wonderful opportunities. And 4 goals could easily have been 7 or 8. So there's no negatives on their side. Yeah, 2 yellow cards, but the 5 yellow cards and 1 red, not acceptable for Las Vegas, not given that they had a red card last week as well for a terrible, terrible elbow at the time. So when are they going to get their discipline under control? And when are they going to get their defense a lot tighter? Just 3 shots on target, not good enough. And the thing was, we saw Salgado and Ochoa, the 2 strikers, back defending. Or why are they defending? And where are the centre backs? So lots of work, lots of thinking to be done for Las Vegas.
And Las Vegas as well, giving away 19 fouls. But it's not just that St. Louis had a litany of opportunities. It's the simplicity with which they got them. It just seemed like one Route 1 long ball gave them an opportunity. So it was probably a bit too simple for St. Louis tonight. As we can now bring you our full-time highlights. And the first chance of the match would come off a corner, Lewis Hilton. And then some madness in front of the area, eventually in from Fanuel Kavita.
Yeah, Wolfall has the first chance. Kavita tucks it away. Lovely finish, great start. And what about this? Golazo. This is Kadim Dakers in on his right, but in the top corner, thank you. No chance for Ferrinho.
And Ferrinho getting a fingertip to it, but coming in off that left-hand side. Shots are not more perfectly placed than that, and Kadim Dakers, what a way to get his first goal of the season. Then the incident that results in the Las Vegas goal. Fenlison off his line, but he might have just gotten the ball before the player.
Well, for me, it's a good save. Not a penalty, but very difficult to call in the moment. A referee decides it is, and well tucked away by Salgado. Now that gets Las Vegas back into the match, and at that stage we thought Las Vegas might have a good chance of getting something from this game.
But then just before the halftime break, the backwards header there from Garduño, who was eventually sent off. Awkwardly dealt with there by Inigo and tucked in by Kyle Gregg. And then here's that incident that gets Garduño the sending off.
Yeah, silly, unnecessary. Now you're down to 10 men, you're 2 goals down. It was his mistake for the back header for the 3rd goal, but he's compounded it by doing that.
And then the icing on the cake, Cox for Herzog, who returns the favor.
Yeah, nice, simple finish. That is quality football. It's teamwork. It's putting the other man first. It's wonderful, and no wonder the fans enjoyed it. And once again, shout out for those fans who kept the noise going throughout the 90 minutes. I love watching them. They're a credit to the USL.
And a lot to share about this evening for St. Louis. Kavita, Dakers, Gregg, and Cox on the score sheet with a goal in his debut for St. Louis FC. A month in the making, finally cleared to play, and gets the final goal in this one. Once again, your final score, St. Louis 4, Las Vegas Lights 1. For our terrific USL crew and my broadcast partner, Gary Bailey, my name is Chris Whittingham. St. Louis now just 1 point off the final playoff place in the Western Conference. It's going to be a terrific run-in. They'll be on ESPN3 on Wednesday night, taking on Sacramento Republic. That'll just about do it for us. Good night.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I need
There's really only one place where the carpets are always red and the stars are everywhere you look. There's no place like Hollywood. Hollywood Casino St. Louis.
Here come the last of our 2018s.
Toyota's national clearance event is the best part of summer.
And with super low APR financing and great lease deals, it won't last long.
Oh, I'm so excited.
You are not alone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah! Yes!
But my job.
Get $2,500 customer cash on a new 2018 RAV4. Or get 0% APR for 48 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a new RAV4.
Save on the last of the 2018s. Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.